What is up, everybody? I'm back, as promised, with another review of another haunted attraction in the Oklahoma City area. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Halloween season's over. Why is this guy doing another review? Because it has to be done. That's why. First thing I want to do is approach something really quick. Some serious matters. We need to have a moment of silence for the end of the 2019 Halloween season. Yeah. Okay, now that we're done with that, I want to just make a mention and say there's only really two ways to think about Halloween, okay? Only two ways to be in the season. One, you're actively celebrating Halloween in the Halloween season. And the second way is you're getting ready for the next one. Only two ways. Celebrating because it's Halloween and getting ready for the next one, which is like 11 months away-ish from now. So there's no in between. Don't agree with me? Fight me. But like I'd mentioned, I'm back for another review of another haunted attraction in Oklahoma City. Um, and I wish I would have got this one done sooner. I wish I would have been there at opening night and then at least once a week the entire season because it was that good. It was definitely good. I want to talk about Nightfall Haunted Territory. Um, it's in Oklahoma City. It's actually Bethany. It's on 39th Street, just to the east of Council. A little bit, not very much there on the south side of the road. And let me just say, great haunt. Great haunt. I'll start off by giving a shout out to the two guys that started it up and then they're running the show. It's going to be Rod and Gambit. Probably arguably two of the coolest and nicest guys you're going to meet in the haunt business. I know one of them mentioned that the haunt business can be kind of cutthroat at times, and I'm going to agree with them. From some of the stuff I've heard and seen at different haunts out there, yeah, definitely. They mark up there as probably one of the nicest guys out there running haunts. I'd put money on it. Well, some money, a little bit of money. I'm poor, so just a little money. All right. Anyway, but if you're not familiar with these guys, they're the ones who brought HorrorCon to Oklahoma City like this past summer. They brought HorrorCon to Oklahoma City, and if you like horror, classic movies like that, it was Candyland. It was an awesome experience to have, and guess what? They're bringing it back. I don't know where, but for summer of 2019, it's gonna be back here, and they're the ones bringing it again. Some cooler guest celebrities, some just more stuff going on. So we're definitely looking forward to that, and everybody appreciates the effort and the time these guys put into bringing stuff like that to Oklahoma City because it doesn't happen that often. But if we can make this a regular thing, that is just amazing. And these guys put in a lot of time and effort. Yeah, just a little bit of backstory on these guys. Not great detail, but every haunt has their some of their setbacks and some of the elements they have to overcome to put on a good production. And these guys, they had a pretty rough season to go. I know beginning of the season, mid-season, they got robbed. I don't know how much was taken or what was damaged, but there was enough there, kind of set them back a little bit. Because these guys, believe it or not, the haunt out there is probably 2 acres-ish. It's like a maze almost, pallets and curtains and um, there's a lot of stuff in there. There's a lot of props, a lot of scenery, a lot of electronics in that haunt, and it was built by the two guys, Rod and Gambit, in like 2 days. They said, "Oh my God, where do you find the time or just the drive to do something like that?" I'll tell you why. It's because these guys are true Halloween enthusiasts, and they wanted to put on a good production for everybody. So that's what they did. They put, I'm guessing, an immense amount of time in these 2 days. Probably didn't eat or sleep much to get this done and ready. And then on top of that, they had some other things they had to overcome. They couldn't have the haunt covered, and they had to have about 15 million emergency exits because it was code. And so they had to get all that built in the haunt. That being said, still an awesome haunt. I mean, it was great. And there's a little Easter egg I'll put for you at the end of this video to kind of give you a little bit, get you jacked for next year, because I'm already ready. I wish we were there. I wish we could be starting next Halloween season right now. But patience. Good things come to those who wait. But I'm very impatient, so we'll wait and see. But we'll talk about this haunt a little bit, and the first thing I'll say is, like I said, I wish I would have went out sooner. They did a good job, from the outside of the haunt, you go out, there's not a whole lot. You can't really get a good idea of what's going on inside other than some of the screams. But when you get to the front, you get to walk in. It's like a true, I won't give you all the details, but we'll talk about the haunt in general. You get in, and it's like a Bates Motel entrance, and you're like, oh, great. Here we go. This would be a Bates Motel setup. And I think these guys really, they hit the nail on the head with this haunt. If you like classic horror, uh, you just, and you're somebody who likes a storyline, kind of cohesiveness throughout a haunt, this is your haunt. These are your guys because they did an awesome job. You know, they, like I mentioned them in a previous video, I think. I talked about how they used classical characters. You know, they used classic, Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, and some other stuff. I mean, little things that some people don't pick up on. I can't give away all this stuff, but I did see some stuff like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which highly appreciate that because there was all throughout there just little things from classic movies that maybe only a spectrum of people who were, age 30 and up would catch, but when you catch it, you appreciate the hell out of it. Excuse my language, but you appreciate it. So going through this haunt, they don't have that. When I say cohesive, I mean they put it all together. If you walk into a particular area of this haunt and you can't figure out what the haunt or whose area that's supposed to be, because I think it was sectioned off that way. Like this side of the haunt belonged to Jason, this one belonged to Mike Myers. And if you weren't sure, you walked in, you saw the setup, you saw some of the props, and you're like, I'm not sure who this belongs to. Then all of a sudden, not only do you have that, you got music. They're giving you all these little things, to figure out, oh, who's coming. So you get into the haunt, and then you see the props, and then you hear the music, and then you're like, okay, I'm pretty sure I know who this is. And then all of a sudden, here comes your guy. Here comes the guy from your nightmares when you were younger, and they still get at you. They didn't just focus on one era, though. That was the coolest thing, I think. These guys have some pretty awesome attention to detail. They didn't just focus on the beginning, the first Jason Voorhees. They kind of staged Jason throughout, like little things that you pick up on. Different series, different Jason movies they pulled stuff from. Same with like Freddy Krueger, like Freddy Krueger, like Dream Warriors and things like that. They pulled some stuff out, and it was awesome, And the thing about this haunt is that the ambiguity, like you don't know half the time, like the correct path is not quite clear. But trust me, you make a mistake try to go the wrong way, you'll pay for it. I enjoyed it so much. It was just a lot of fun, going through the haunt. The costumes, some of these things were pretty good, and it wasn't just the costumes, it was the actors though. Anybody could put on a mask and come at you like Michael Myers, but not everybody can pull it off where they're going to stalk you methodically or in the way Mike Myers did it in the movies. Not everybody can do that. These guys did it. Also, I saw some stuff. There's some stuff from Hellraiser in there. Won't tell you who or how they did it, but pretty awesome. It was just a lot of fun. Going through it too is almost like the scenes just got more intense. They started you off a little slower, and the scenes got a little more intense as you kind of went through. They started you off walking, and then at some point you may be crawling. If you don't like to do that, if you got a bad hip, maybe not. I was gonna bring my older daughter, but she is one of those has a bad hip. She couldn't go. But they kind of, they really just push you throughout, and you think you know what's coming. You think you got an idea what's coming. Then you get around a corner and like, oh, there's nothing there. But the whole thing coming the whole time, the one has been right behind you the whole time. You may not have picked up on it until, well, it's too late. A lot of fun, a lot of good props, a lot of good scenery, and the scenes made it all come together too, I think, because I'm not harping on any other haunts. These are not what I'm fixing to say. These aren't haunts that I reviewed. These are haunts that I've been to in the past. They'll have some really obscure scenes where they'll have Freddy Krueger in a bathtub just hanging out, and then he's gonna come out of the bathtub and scare you. They'll have Jason Voorhees maybe mowing his lawn or doing something crazy, just totally out of character for that particular psychopath or serial killer. Not this place, though. They put them all in their element. So when you come into a scene or a room, they immerse you. You're there in the moment. You're there in their world now. And everything just fits together so well, and it was a lot of fun. So not enough good things to say about these guys. A lot of the only thing I can say is wish I would have went sooner. That's all I can say. Wish I'd have got this review out sooner to give to you guys. That way you could go out and experience it, because man, it was well worth the time. Definitely worth the money. I think the cost of admission throughout the season was $15. That's a drop in the bucket for a haunt like this. For those classic characters and the way they put it all together, man, it was awesome. So $15. The whole haunt took me about 25 minutes to get through. And like I said, it was always something coming. You know, if there was just a tiny bit of laxity, and if there's a moment where there wasn't somebody stalking you or fixing to come out of a corner or wherever they were coming from, it was just because they were loading up to get you right around the corner the next time. So if there was a time where you didn't get scared for a brief second, trust me, you're going to get double, around the corner. So $15, awesome time. Theatrics are great. Spot on. I can't say enough good things about those. Costumes are awesome. Actors, one thing I'll say is that a lot of times you see these haunts, it's the end of the season. Last night was the last night, November 2nd, last night of the season for most anybody doing a haunt or put on production. And you know what that means? Um, Actors are tired. The actors start to get burnt out. They just start to fall out of character. They lose that sweet spot because they're ready to be done for just a little while. Because I'll tell you, coming from somebody who's worked in a haunt, it's tiresome. It is hard work. People think that it's easy, like you're gonna hide in a corner and every time somebody comes around, you're just gonna scare them, whatever. It doesn't work that way. You're going to be moving a lot. You're going to be crouching a lot. You're going to be giving everybody that comes around that corner every bit of everything you got to see if you can't scare them. And you do that over and over and over for nights for minimal pay. Not because you're looking to make money, it's because you enjoy it. But man, it's rough work. One thing I'll say about these guys is that the actors didn't let up. We're talking it's 30-something degrees outside. There's no comfort element here. And they gave you their all every time. I'm just impressed, that there's a lot of drive. They find their actors. I don't know where they found them, but these people have some drive, and their passion is to definitely scare you, and it shows through 100%. So, man, I keep saying it, but I wish I would have got this review out there sooner because I think a lot of people would have been very, very impressed yet terrified of this haunt just because it was awesome. So, I don't know. Sorry, I made a little note card. This is some talking points, and I'm just gonna, wing the rest. So I don't know. I'd say for the money, for the price. I know they got reviewed by Scurryface. I think they're like a Scurryface. I've just now heard of them this year. They're like a huge organization. They review haunts in every state. I think they gave them an awesome score, and I agree. I 100% agree. Thumbs up to Scurryface for the review on these guys because they did great. One thing I'm gonna do, like I said, what I'm doing right now that they don't is I'm putting a live video out there showing you my excitement about this haunt. Because it's really hard to pick up on excitement in words. Unless you're really good with words, a written review doesn't do this place justice. They need a video. They need somebody to come in and tell you about this haunt. Because if you didn't go this year, you should have went. You should have went because you missed out. But luckily, there's a chance to redeem yourself. So they're going to be starting this again next year, next Halloween. I know it's a long time away, but I guarantee you these guys, as soon as this haunt was over, they got a chance to sit down and relax. They're probably back to the drawing board, thinking of ways to get at you and ways to scare you. So I got 2 words for you for next year for these guys: Nightfall Haunted Territory. 2 words: Lost Lakes. Yeah, you heard me right. Lost Lakes. That's going to be crazy. That's going to be an amazing experience. I don't know who was there before them, but I'll say that these guys, if they did what they did in such a small space, with all the elements they had to overcome, when they get out to Lost Lakes, it's going to be chaos. It's going to be an amazing experience. I don't know what the ticket prices are going to be yet. I don't know what the cost of admission is or some of the other details, but I can tell you, it's going to be worth it. There's no question about it. These guys are going to blow your mind next year with all that space and all those elements outside. Because keep in mind, when I say this, when I say they were in a smaller haunt, it was about 2 acres of pallets and props, and it was probably one of my favorite haunts around. I just can't even fathom what they're going to do with all that space and some of the area out there at Lost Lakes. I think it's going to be absolute chaos. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you get a chance, I would say reach out to those guys on Facebook. I know they're going to be busy year-round trying to make stuff happen. Definitely talk to them. Get out there, find out what's going to happen. When they're going to start ticket sales. Get active, get involved because it's going to be a great time. Same guys are going to bring HorrorCon to us, hopefully again in July, this upcoming summer. So there's a lot to look forward to, and these guys are some of the front runners when it comes to bringing all that stuff and bringing that excitement to Oklahoma. So I'm. Saying I'm stoked is an understatement. It's going to be really cool, and like I said, these guys they're true horror enthusiasts, and that really shows through in their haunts. So I guess that's all I had for you about these guys. I think they did a great job, and it's going to be worth checking them out again. So you can subscribe to my page on YouTube. Subscribe. I don't know if that's what you do anymore. Subscribe to YouTube. Somehow like the page so you can keep up with updates, because I think there's going to be a lot of good information rolling out throughout the year about how to kick your Halloween season up a notch. Because with guys like this out there, the possibilities are limitless. It's going to be fun. So I guess with that being said, I'm going to wrap this up, and I hope to have some more information out there for you guys soon about all the new haunts coming or some of the changes. So yeah, I'll keep you posted. Keep watching, and we'll talk to you soon.